Hello and welcome to a Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa preview. It's a 5:30 kickoff on Saturday in the Premier League, and in this video I'm going to go through two potential angles to attack this game. So without wasting any time, the first bet is heavily influenced on what happened midweek for Aston Villa. In that game against Leipzig, we saw Ollie Watkins withdrawn at half-time, and to quote Emery after the game, he mentioned Watkins had a small injury, and Duran obviously scored in that game. So going on to the weekend, I would imagine John Duran starts again. I think he's rewarded for his efforts, and he is actually the first player of interest in this game. Shot counts for the Colombian are eye-catching to say the least. He's averaging 5.35 shots per 90, which is a ridiculously high total. Even despite that, he's only actually started 4 games this season. Looking into those though, most recently it was against Southampton, where he scored with 3 shots, 2 on target. Prior to that, he started against Palace in the EFL Cup with 5 shots, 4 on target and a goal. Then it was Bologna, again 5 shots, 2 on target and a goal. And his first start of the season actually came against Wickham in the EFL Cup, where he had 6 shots, 2 on target, and he scored again. So in all 4 starts this season, he's got on the score sheet, he's had at least 2 shots on target, and he's had at least 3 shots. So based on that alone, there are several sort of angles that we could potentially approach John Duran for this game. And before I expand on what I would perceive to be the best value, I'm actually going to introduce a second player into the equation, and that is John McGinn. John McGinn featured on the left wing midweek against Leipzig with Morgan Rogers starting centrally. Those two have sort of featured in those positions interchangeably recently under Emery. However, wherever McGinn starts, whether it's centrally or on the left, really like his shot prices as well. As with Duran, he scored midweek, so should be full of confidence in that regard. Looking into his sort of shot data since he returned from injury, McGinn's actually landed 2 or more shots in 8 out of 11 starts. Looking a bit deeper into those misses though, he had 0 shots against Bournemouth in his second game, or his second start since returning from that injury, and he featured on the right wing in that game. He also had 1 shot against Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup, but he was deployed in a defensive midfield role, so not in his preferred position for either of those two, and he missed. He did get over this line against Spurs despite playing on the right wing, but if we ignore the sort of first 4 games from which he returned from injury, the Bologna one obviously was his first game back. The next 3 he was in a sort of outer position, or he's in an unfavourable position for shots. He's actually landed this bet in 6 out of the last 7 games. There's reason to believe he is to start on the left wing or centrally again, with Leon Bailey out. He obviously went off with a hamstring injury not too long ago, and he's a massive doubt for this game. He obviously did not feature at all midweek, so I would imagine John McGinn features in his sort of favourable left wing position, hopefully with a higher expected minutes. If we can get him playing 80 to 85 minutes, or even the full 90, that would be absolutely ideal. Paddy Power are top price here, 2.3 for him to register 2 or more shots, which I think is fantastic value. Anything over sort of evens here, it just looks great value based on the data, based on his higher expected minutes. For context, 365 are at 1.83 for the same bet, Sky are at 1.57, so I think we get some great value on offer here from Paddy Power. Overcommitting on shots here is an obvious risk. Gain state will obviously have quite a large impact on shots if Villa are to take an early lead that could scupper basically all the angles I've mentioned so far. However, it does work both ways. Forest and Villa are actually tied, both on 25 points each, both been in great form for the season so far, and they're pushing the European spots. I would say this has the makings of quite a sort of cagey, low-scoring game. Obviously, that doesn't really mean too much to say in advance, but I don't think a Villa lead is particularly likely here, especially at the City ground. If we could sort of keep a narrow tight game state, if Forest had to take an early lead, that would be ideal. and would really benefit both selections here. With that in mind, I'll circle back to potential Duran angles. Anytime goal scorer is the obvious one, and he's currently priced at 3-1 to score anytime, which I think is a fantastic bit of value there from 365. Alternatively, you could back him to score first at 8-1, which again looks pretty nice. For the more risk averse, he's priced at 2.87 to score or assist. Moving on to potential shots on target angles, he's priced at 3.25 to register 2 or more shots on target, which I think again looks a nice angle. Alternatively, if you're sort of skeptical on his minutes, Duran to register a first half shot on target is priced at evens, 2.0. Moving on to shots angles, he's priced at 1.72 to register 3 or more shots. If you're looking at ways to boost that, what I would suggest is potentially adding a first half shot on target or shot, which boosts the odds to 1.83, or even adding a shot on target to that, which would boost the odds to 2.1. So I think there are loads of potential angles here. All of them I would say look fantastic value, certainly with long shot potential. Moving on to the sort of matchup against Forest, I don't think it's a bad matchup. I don't think it's a great matchup. I think it's pretty average. Forest obviously sit in 5th, but they have sort of been less convincing recently. They started off the season in fantastic form, especially defensively. They've sort of let those standards slip a bit in recent weeks, and they have shown a propensity to sort of concede higher shot counts. With Duran being a threat from anywhere, from distance, from in the box, an aerial threat, I think regardless of the matchup, he is one player to target. And based on that, I'd be leaning towards sort of longer odds bets for him with lower stakes, just because he has the potential to hit quite high lines with this, I would say, especially in the right game state. What I will be doing is confirming all of these bets for everything I mentioned in this video over in the Telegram channel. I'll also have my advised staking plan posted for each of them, so if you're not already in it, make sure you are in that group. Link will be in the bio. I'll be covering one more weekend game as a YouTube video, which I'll be posting tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed, make sure you have notifications on, just in case those prices are to drop. Thank you for the support if you're watching this video, and I will see you all tomorrow.